the next mount escape attempt that we want to be very comfortable neutralizing is the thrusting mount escape, where Hidon wants to use his hands or his fist, as I showed you guys earlier in the week, to hold my pelvis away as he elevates his hips and falls to the side. And I try to stabilize right here. My body being off-centered makes it very easy for Hidon's hips to slip out the back and the top knee come in. Once he opens the top knee, he creates space for the bottom hook, and then he can close the guard here or use open guard sweeps. It's a very difficult sweep to stop because of how quickly it happens. So there are essentially 3 layers of defense or of neutralization strategies. The first one is if you're attacking here, you're mounted, and Hidon's hands begin to go from here down south. I want to smash everything. If I can get a neck hug and both hooks in to the sky, I can literally prevent his hands from taking effect, from straightening. Once his arms get straight is when the problems begin for me. So if I can get low, if I can smash him before his arms are straight, I'm in business. So what does that tell you? It tells you get low quick, but it also tells you the key for this guy is to get his arms locked out, because that's where the leverage is. As a side note. Now, one more time. So from here, check it out. As soon as I start to see him, because he doesn't start on my hips. He starts up here defending his neck. His hands go, and then I go immediately. Both toes straight up. Don't stretch the hooks out with grapevines, because he'll pop his feet inside and then try an elbow escape. Go back. So my toes are up and my feet are praying. Feet are up in it, hand out for base. Keep it tight. As long as he's insisting on pushing your hips, you insist on smashing him with your hips. Pulling up on his head and dragging down. Now, that one isn't always possible. It's possible that Hidon's arms get straight. If I'm here attacking and his hands are straight, before I feel like I can get his neck, I have to go with the flow. Throw my shoulders behind my hips and then push my hips up. By doing that, I don't allow Hidon to have anything to push on. When my body's like this is what he wants. He wants the angle that gives him leverage. If I do this and then push my hips up, there is no more angle. So as he begins to push the hips, I sit back, thrust my hips up, no more angle. And as soon as I'm doing that, I'm inside the wrist, pulling the wrist apart. He will put his hands back on my stomach. But look, the hands stay with him. Thumbless grips, and they stay with him. I ride with him for 1 or 2 seconds, and then I get back down, pulling his hands apart, and guess what? Smashing. He will try to push your hips again, but because you have the neck hug and both hooks in, it won't work. Remember, the only reason we did the sit-up counter is because he got his hands on our hips first, and he had effective power and straightening of the arms. Look, that alone messes his whole move up. He don't need relaxed. He don't need this. He needs me to resist it to give him the leverage to make it happen. If there's no resistance, if there's nothing to push, he can't push. Okay? So once again, his hands go. You feel he's strong. He's quick in the hands. Sit up. Look how quickly. It's all together. And as his hands come back in, I stay with it. I'm slowing it down, because in reality, when I pull the hands apart, go ahead. 1, I'm already back down. Quick. As soon as I separate the hands. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is my hands ride with him as I go down, so I can get the neck hug before he gets the hands and the hips again. Any questions? Any questions? You guys can see why this one right here, this second one, is going to be difficult to make natural for you guys, because you have to go with it. So, I don't know what more to tell you. You have to go and create that open angle so there's nothing to push. And once you do, pretty easy. The problem is getting your mind to understand that going back is good. You're going to think you're off balance. Finally, if the person gets your hips, you know you are done, or he will escape. When the arms get stiff, his hips go to the side. Life is pretty bad here. When I'm off center, and his arms are locked, he has the hip escape space to get the top knee in. It's not good. Yeah, once I post out and I lose my balance, I can't sit up anymore because I'm losing my balance, so it's all weird. So if you're going to sit up, it has to be before he gets your hips to the side. If he gets your hips to the side, hold the neck, squeeze your legs very tight. And now as his knee comes in, my knee carves across his. That way. I have to block his knee entry. Because he wants to bring, remember, he wants to bring his top leg in the middle. Once he spreads that leg, causing problems for me, he'll open it up, bring the other knee through. But as he brings his top leg in, if I open up this leg and carve this one to the ground, He doesn't have the butterfly guard. Hold, hold. Now look, this back leg comes around. Boom. So you block it all together. So again, 3 layers of defense. 1, smash it. 2, ride it and get back down and then smash it. 3, he's got your number. He gets you off. You're off balance. As the top knee begins to creep. The most important one on the 3rd variation, most important detail, is tightness. Because if you're loose in your mount, if you're here and he starts to go to the side, it's so quick, his leg coming in, and his leg can spread so easily that you won't have time. You won't buy yourself the time for the knee slice across his belly. So when he goes, I'm like super tight on his neck. I'm pulling myself. My knees are squeezing his butt right here, his waist. He gets the knee in. Boom, I carve it. Transfer. You can see how important this hand base is. Hand base so I don't fall on my face. Any questions? Sir?
So even if you don't just wants to shrimp straight out, not necessarily stay there and bring the knee in, this 3rd technique is still going to work.
So if you're saying if he's not doing this technique, he's doing a standard elbow skip?
No, he's going to...
So he goes up,
yeah.
He falls.
And he doesn't bring in the knee.
Oh, if he just shrimp everything out.
Shrimp straight out.
Oh, yeah, when he shrimp out, what's the goal? Shrimp to bring the knees up. When he shrimps, if he shrimps and stays like this, I'll just lay on his legs and pass the guard. There's no value in him shrimping without getting the knees in front of my chest and stomach area. So you know they're going to come out. There's no doubt. When he shrimps, he has to spread his knees to have any value for the shrimp. So that's almost, not a serious concern of mine. My only concern is when he shrimps, that knee opens up. So if I cut his knee with mine, slowly, hips up, he falls. I'm holding on for dear life here. My knees are very tight. If my knee spreads right here, it's too loose. Keep the knee pinching with your hand base. And as he don't hip slip out and the top knee comes in, immediately open this up. Jumping the leg out for base, hand, and then big step. Okay, we're cutting across, and then from here start to underhook, drop into the side mount. Control, or go back to the mount. Try to me once, please. So we'll do it from this angle here. First one, smash and counter. You don't start to see the hands. And this one normally works. 60% of the time, if you smash it, it kills it. Unless, sit up, please. This is why we discourage you guys from mounting and sitting up straight. You should never mount and sit postured all the way up because you run the risk of me going so quick to your hips. Generally speaking, when you're mounted, you want your body 45 degrees or lower. Because then, anything they do, you can smash them right away. So stay low in the mount. So many times I'm rolling with students here and they sit up straight and so quickly. They have no time. This is such a quick little pop and my arms are straight so fast. But if he don't hear and my hands begin to drop, he knows there is no other objective down here but to thrust the hips. And he got me. Done deal. Go back up, please. Second one, if he feels me get my arms straight and he can lay back with his shoulders, he'll do it. He'll sit up, hold them, get back down, and go in right away. I just felt something unique right now. Look, as the hands come down and he don't roll the hips up, look at his hip forward, freeze. My attempt to pull my hands back down to his pelvis brought him down. So if you keep that wrist grab, it slings you back down. As I came in, he was right on my wrist and it helped time his entry. Great. Now if I get this, and he's tight here, and I start to get my knee in, look at the carve, you're going to step off. Go ahead, try to go right on. I think stabilize for a second. First, hold your legs tight, try the neck. Boom. Too much. That's too much. Yeah, because you know what happens is the reason you don't do that, he don't always talk asking whether or not we should show you guys to jump off all at once. And I think that there's some value to jumping the gun like that. But what I've noticed is many times when I try to escape like this with Hidon, his tightness alone, his neck hug, and my exhaustion in the moment prevents me from getting out at all. So all goes. Stop it all together. Just stay right here and hold tight. Hold my neck, please. He's here and I can't even get out because he's so tight with his legs. And then I stop. That's why he doesn't jump off early, because he might not have to jump off, if that makes sense. So when you jump off, only when the guy is serious about his job, and then you have to respect him. Very good. Any questions? The other one. We're going to do all three. We're keeping it real right now. First one, smash it. Second one, ride it and go back down. Get the hooks in right away. Third one, you feel like you're slipping, keep your knees tight, carve it and base, and then switch. Thrusting, hip escape, counter. Try it, guys. You got to be quick. You got to be real quick. Let's go. Start slow, speed it up. Help each other.